And boom goes the dynamite. Hello, everybody. Spillidge here. And joining me at this time is Boredy McBored. And this is week 6 of Madden NFL 22. And today's matchup will be the matchup upcoming this Sunday on let's see, is it on? It's on Fox at 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It is the Green Bay Packers versus the Chicago Bears. How you doing, Bordy?
I am very wonderful, Spillage, very wonderful, and I'm very excited for this 1 p.m. spot. When you talk about some really exciting football this week, we have a lot of matchups. Later on in the slot, we have Cardinals and Browns, Cowboys, Patriots. That's going to be fun. Raiders, Broncos, and a matchup for the AFC, I believe, West. But in this particular matchup in the 1 p.m. slot, there is the Chargers versus Ravens, and then this matchup we're seeing in front of us, the Packers versus Bears. It's going to be a great one.
Absolutely. It's definitely going to be a great one. Justin Fields is probably singing, I ain't got nobody. Because, the injuries is taking a toll on his poor team. Well, that's not exactly the rookie year he had in mind, Bordy.
No, not the rookie year he imagined at all. Earlier, I believe 2 weeks ago, he had massive news when his dependable running back, to begin the season, Raheem Mostert got in IR. Now, in the middle of his season, David Montgomery on injured reserve. This time, the short term, expected to return about week 8. And then earlier this week, more devastating news from the running back position. Damian Williams on October 14th is now on injured reserve, this time for COVID. This time for COVID, so COVID reserve. I'm not sure if it's a contact trace or if it's him actually getting COVID, but I do know this, that running back group is hurt, okay?
So let me get this straight. You telling me that the Kansas City Chiefs are down to their third string running back. Is that what you're telling me?
Well, let's just say that Lamar Jackson isn't the only one down to whoever they can pick up on the street when it comes to the running back group. The Bears, now Justin Fields going to have to face that adversity, especially being a mobile quarterback. You never want to have nobody there to run behind you, to back up. Who's going to be replacing them this week? Going to be running for this team this week is going to be a guy named Khalil Herbert from Kansas. He is a rookie. So we're going to see how he does.
You would think after receiving that kind of news, you would think Todd Gurley is like, okay, today's the day. Today is the day. My phone's going to blow up.
Oh, man, I tell you, this is a great year for running backs who are just on that fringe, a little bit too old, but want something to do. And I am telling you, you need to go ahead and pick him up. He's only like 26. I know he got the arthritis in his knees. He probably don't have it like he used to, but they need to do something like Justin Fields did too much there. Interception going all the way home. Touchdown, Packers.
And a pick 6 to add insult to injury. Not a great way to start the game by Justin Fields. He ain't got nobody. And good grief, man. It was intended for the tight end Komet, but Komet just ran the entirely different route, and my goodness, that was rough. Justin Fields is probably like, you know what? I'm just gonna make the best of it somehow, some way.
And he's going to have to really depend on his wide receivers to really do something. When you have Allen Robinson the second, he hasn't been very productive this year, but he's Allen Robinson. He could do something. And Darnell Mooney seems to be his favorite target so far early in his young season. He's going to need somebody to help pick him up. And since he doesn't have the run game, he's going to have to do it all by himself.
I can imagine Justin Fields just at his house, just looking out his window. There's a nice little bright stars out, and he's just singing, "Somewhere out there, somebody will bring me help."
Help this man. You already have Matt Nagy trying to ruin your whole career. Get him some help. Running backs, do something, man. We need a bat signal. Where is Todd Gurley? We need him now.
Oh man, that is rough. That is absolutely rough. I mean, Cordero Patterson, who was a former Chicago Bear, he's with Atlanta, so that's a no-go. And then, I don't know, man. It's been a rough year for running backs. I mean, first off, you have Latavius Murray of the Ravens, and then you have Clyde Edwards-Helaire, then Damian Williams, and then doggone Christian McCaffrey.
Oh man.
Man, it's
you have
just rough.
The Seattle running back, I believe his name is Chris Carson. He is also out. You have Joe Mixon. He's out. You have
Joe's gone?
Joe is gone. Joe is gone. He's been crap, and so is Josh Jacobs too. He's been on the fringe edge, and for the Eagles, I mean, he's not injured, but dang, Nick Sirianni uses him like he's injured. Miles Sanders, save that dude, get him out. So you just have a lot of just bad luck from the running backs. The whole entire Ravens team, they don't have any running backs. It's that bad. And also, I believe too, the 49ers, they don't have a lot of their running backs. Chargers as well. It's been a bad, not Chargers, I'm sorry, the Rams as well. It's been a bad year for running backs.
I mean, let me ask you this, Bordy. Is it bad luck or is it just bad turf?
Man, let me tell you, we were talking about this earlier, Spillidge. The turf is ridiculous. Why we don't use natural grass and the utmost maintained grass like we do see in other leagues such as soccer is ridiculous. We know that the NFL makes far more money than any sport in this country, and yet they act like they can't save their product for just a couple more dollars on some dang grass, man.
You know what? They might as well just remove the turf and replace it with concrete and just call it a day. Just good old-fashioned cement. Yeah.
I mean, we'll cause some brain injuries, but it's not like we aren't already doing it. Like Justin Fields getting some yardage right there. Great play by him, but
absolutely. And that was for Mooney. All right, for a great yardage. And move those chains.
And we gotta hope that his head didn't hit the ground too hard on that turf cement. If so, he's gonna be gonna go to those that blue tent. But it's not to say that the NFL really cares about those players really getting hurt anyway.
You don't know how I know the turf is the problem, because there's an injury dedicated towards the turf called turf toe. I mean, come on.
You know, it was a while back when I believe Reggie Bush sued a team because I believe it was the Saints for having concrete right next to what should have been the grass. It was AstroTurf. It was really bad, and he almost got his career ruined because of that major injury. Luckily, it was only a season for him to see Justin Fields pick up a couple yards. But my goodness, the NFL needs to do better. We've seen soccer spend plenty of money on maintaining their grass. Hell, my college, Spelman College, spends more money, it seems, on their grass than the NFL does. It's ridiculous what the NFL doesn't do to make sure that their product and their players can be safer.
And let me also point, Bordy, that if it wasn't for that turf toe, I mean, Devin Hester was probably still playing Chicago right now.
Ooh, man, and I know Bears fans really miss him. One of the greatest players I've seen in NFL history. You give him the ball on a punt or kick, he can do something major with it, okay?
Give him daylight and it's over. I mean, Devin Hester definitely earned his spot into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. 3rd and goal Ball on the 3. Can Justin Fields redeem himself from that devastating pick 6? Let's find out. Here comes the snap. And handoff. And he was stopped courtesy of number 26. 4th and goal, ball on the 2. What exactly are they going to do, Bordy?
Well, that was Darnell Savage. Shout out to him, a second-year player from Maryland. You know, it's interesting that Green Bay has tried to put some pieces onto their defense and done some things, you know. But unfortunately, they've had their own set of injuries as well when it comes to the defensive backs and everything that they have, their defensive linemen. And then also to Jair Alexander also getting hurt. So this defense isn't as good as it was last year. Very spotty. So maybe Justin Fields could do something, regardless of the fact that he has no running backs to help him.
You know what? All these injuries, Bordy, that's been going on this season. Oh, right in the touchdown. Chicago Bears. And what a way to redeem himself. Wow, they went for it on 4th down. That's what I'm talking about.
You know, that's how you know it's a simulation, because I don't know if Matt Nagy would have done that, but I do know this, that that's a good play. Hopefully they incorporate, you know, he is a rookie. However, they really need to establish the running game. Cough, Eagles, you don't do this with an amazing running back. But regardless, even the Ravens, they have geriatrics running in their backyard, and they still get plays. They still run the ball. You need to run the ball to establish it. Keep pounding the rock. Even with that rookie, good things will happen.
Absolutely, and the game is tied just like that. Score 7-7, game even. And as I was saying earlier, before Herbert ran it in for the touchdown, I was saying all these injuries that is going down this season. I mean, honestly, I'm surprised. Asper Cream and Icy Hot are not the proud sponsors of the NFL.
Somewhere Shaq is shaking his head, knowing that he can maintain his sports supremacy over Icy Hot. All right, shaking his head and nodding. All right.
You know what I'm saying? Icy Hot, Asper Cream, Bengay, you name it. Any kind of ointment should be a proud sponsor of the National Football League, because they are just literally giving their bodies on the field every single Sunday, Thursday, and Monday. And my goodness, I mean, it's just a lot. And here comes Aaron Rodgers for the first drive of the game. Crazy enough, it's almost the end of the first quarter, and this is his first drive on the game, courtesy of Green Bay's defense. Pick 6.
Yeah, so what will be interesting to see from this team, you know, I believe, you know, the Packers have had, you know, more success than we first saw them. You know, first game of the year, they were really shaky. They've started to pick up a little bit more momentum, but they have to also deal with their running back that is also injured. Aaron Jones is unfortunately a little bit hurt, so hopefully he will recover soon enough. Really dependable as a runner. Hopefully A.J. Dillon can do something to help them out, because a good running game really helps establish things, especially with this monster front from the Bears.
Absolutely. And that's the end of the first quarter. Game tied. 2nd and 3, ball on the 35. And speaking of injuries, Bordy, wow, you talk about a person who should be singing the song "I Ain't Got Nobody." Let's talk about Tannehill and the Tennessee Titans.
Ooh, man. So the one win that my New York Jets have made, as we see a monster run right there by the Green Bay running back. That's exactly what you want to see, that offensive lineman patting himself on the back, doing a good job blocking. The one game that my New York Jets have won this entire year happened to be against the most beat up team in the AFC, in the NFL. Well, probably not even the AFC or NFL, but feeling it the worst. is the Tennessee Titans. They have no wide receivers really available, missing Julio and also missing A.J. Brown. And, that's really unfortunate because their defense has also been missing. We knew that before the season. So when you get rid of all your defense to get Julio and he's not there, that really hurts.
You want to know who I feel sorry the most? Is Derrick Henry, because I guarantee you, from this point, at this point, he's probably touched the ball about 85% of the time now. They just hand the ball off to him, and he has no choice but to just move forward and try to break 2 or 3 tackles, risking his own body. And if he gets hurt, which I will not speak this to existence. I'm just saying that season it'll be safe to say is over.
Yeah, there are 4 players when you talk about carrying a team to victory single-handedly that I think about in the NFL. I think about Kyler Murray. I think about Christian McCaffrey. I think about Lamar Jackson, and I think about Derrick Henry. When you talk about the wins that the Titans have made off the back of him just crushing people, running them over, he single-handedly won them the game in Seattle they had no business maintaining to be in. It really is unfortunate how they can't seem to get anything going, especially with that offensive line. It's all Derrick Henry all day, and sometimes you can do it alone, but a lot of times it's going to be hard, okay?
Right, and Derrick Henry is the only running back that I've seen so far in the league that's literally carrying his team to victory and at the same time carrying the defensive players a couple yards trying to take him down. He's always dragging them about 5 more extra yards. All right, we got ourselves a sky kick, and not exactly a pretty one because the ball is on the 19.
Ball on the 19, as we see a new face starting for quarterback in Justin Fields for the Bears. Well, talking about new faces, we are soon to see a new face be the head coach for the Las Vegas Raiders. I apologize. John Gruden is now out as head coach there. Let's talk a little bit about that, Spillidge. What was your reaction to the news when you found out that John Gruden had been removed from his head coach position?
First thing across my mind was, what on earth did he do this time? Oh, what a sack! Wow, and Justin Fields, my goodness. In this day and age, that would be a flag for taunting because, oh my goodness, this new penalty sucks.
It really does. You want Kingsley Keke after that amazing tackle to enjoy and celebrate himself, but it's the NFL for a reason. The no fun league, you can't be having these players actually enjoying a game that they're playing for a living. No, you're supposed to be a robot and hand the ball off and not celebrate at all. That's what real men do. Isn't that right, Spillage?
No, it's not right. It's football, for God's sake. It is football. That is the part of the game. It always has been from the start.
Yes.
For years, and all of a sudden, I don't know, somebody whoever made that rule up obviously didn't play enough football
you know
to
who
understand the psychology of the sport.
You know who it was? It's actually the Giants owner, Mara, that had a huge hand in that rule being what it is and being so heavily enforced. And, who would think that the Mars would have such a hard time with that when they traded away one of their best players for their franchise because he just had long hair and scored them touchdowns. So talking about Odell Beckham Jr. Got rid of him because he had too much fun playing football. And,
it makes perfect sense. It makes perfect sense for the owner of the Giants to be the one to come up with the idea of the no taunting because, let's just face it, Bordy. Now, after 3-4 consecutive losing seasons of the Giants, I'm pretty sure he got sick and tired of the taunting of his own fan base. So it was like, you know what? I'm going to have to put an end to all this madness. So I'm going ahead and end the taunting. You know what I'm saying? I'm tired of the players talking trash. I'm tired of the opposing team talking trash. I'm tired. I'm gonna go to Rodgers and just pitch this idea of a 15-yard penalty every time a defensive player crack a smile after a tackle.
I myself have never experienced joy and happiness, so why should the rest of the NFL feel the same way? They should feel like I do, miserable. And, that's what the Mars are doing, and they're really, really effective at doing it, too. Today, as we saw the Eagles go against the Buccaneers, there was a BS taunting call. We saw plenty times in the first block of action of this season. We saw a lot of BS taunting calls. It's really annoying how many times we can give up or potentially lead to big plays by players showing emotion, which all humans have last time I checked.
Right, and speaking of that costly penalty, what you and I and the rest of the world saw about an hour ago was a taunting call on the last 3 minutes of the game, which basically shift momentum for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Honestly, the Philadelphia Eagles defense had one more stop, and then all of a sudden, bam, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down, and that was all she wrote.
I feel like there are a lot of penalties this year that have been really soft. I believe we've seen a lot of roughing the passer plays that really were just very soft. Something like barely tackling the legs of a quarterback and getting a flag and a penalty. Something that's not in the spirit of the rule. Someone making a legitimate tackle and then also having that. But then to do that to a defensive player is already hard enough to play defense in this wide open offense NFL. You have the quarterback that are not only passing the ball down the field like unfettered pockets that are huge, you can't hit them or do anything, but also they're running around all over the place. So for you to make it hard, even harder on them by, as soon as you do the most difficult thing you can do, which is tackle them, to penalize them for being happy about that ruins all the fun and the spirit of the game.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But don't worry. Coming up next season, you'll see it. It'll be a brand new penalty that they come up with.
Yeah.
Personal foul, tugging the jersey, defense, 15-yard penalty.
We're gonna see. For quarterbacks, like throw for 7,000 yards, like throwing the ball behind their head, and it's gonna be like as soon as the defender like swats it away, oh my gosh, that's a flag, guys. What are you doing? Like enjoying? You should be enjoying them throwing the ball and doing whatever. It's gonna be terrible. It's gonna be terrible.
I tell you what, just give Tom Brady more reasons to win more rings.
Come on now. They're milking him. That's what they're doing. They're milking him and Aaron Rodgers' bones to the bones to the soul, all right? Okay? They're going to be playing until they're 182, all right? They're going to be in wheelchairs out there. And we're going to love it because he'll still be winning or something.
This is absolutely ridiculous. Football just isn't the same. But back to Gruden, the first thing crossed my mind was, what the hell did he do this time? What did he do? What did he do this time? Then I read, and I was like, yeah, he basically completed the checklist of offenses that a coach can definitely get fired for. He definitely, yeah.
Hate speech bingo, right?
Misogyny check, homophobia check, racism check. Okay.
Oh man,
just complete the whole list right there.
And not only that, he's like anti-player safety and like anti fun in the NFL, anti-thing. He's just anti-everything. He's just a hater in all aspects, in all things of the world. And look at that, you see a touchdown right there from the Green Bay Packers doing some justice. Robert Tonyan doing some work, but you
better be careful with that. That would have been a penalty right there for celebrating too long.
That was too much emotion that you're going on right there. Why open up and make players actually be able to celebrate when if they celebrate a certain way, that's taunting. Oh, that makes sense. Just like it makes sense for the NFL to have John Gruden. Oh, wait, it doesn't? It does not make sense. However, they finally made a good decision to let him go. But it's interesting that John Gruden was let go when this was stemming from also, too, a much bigger issue. It's still very big that John Gruden did what he did. Let's not get this wrong. But there's also a huge issue going on as well where you have Dan Snyder of the Washington football team. All of that information about John Gruden's emails came from that investigation from Dan Snyder having terrible workplace mismanagement.
Terrible workplace mismanagement is definitely an understatement. If the feds had
Yes.
to intervene, be like, okay,
Yes.
yeah, we won't have to. Yeah, we won't have to. We got to intervene because you guys are doing things that is way out of the open. So yeah, we want to have to. What I can't even imagine what on earth did the feds confiscate? Like, did they confiscate his Snyder's personal copy of Iceberg Slim?
Maybe he has some interesting things that, the rest of the world can have, some plutonium or something that he's like stowing away. I do know that so far one of his, I believe, a president of something in that organization, in the Redskins organization, was recently let go because of fraud from the IRS. So there's something that's happening in that regard. Then you also have the whole scandal that kind of started this thing, which is not only sexual harassment and everything going on locally and sexism that's going on throughout that organization, right? But then you have them potentially using their cheerleaders as basically a faux sex trafficking ring and forcing them to either lose their job to perform, sexual acts, to take pictures and nude and propose into Redskins private picture shows. And that's actually part of the things that Gruden shared to owner Dan Snyder, was some of the pictures of those girls being topless. And so there's been a lot of mismanagement and a lot of blatant sexism, a lot of sex trafficking, things that are very illegal that should not be happening going on in that organization.
Hell of an understatement. That's a hell of an understatement.
Breaking the law, and that seems like an understatement too.
Like, wow. I can imagine the feds just doing some confiscating. It's like, we found Iceberg Slim's book. Sir, you gotta come with me. Come on. Hands behind your head.
And that's a reason why they're letting go Gruden, because there's a whole house of cards. There's other players. There's other people in the Raiders organization who were let go in high positions of power in the Raiders that were let go very mysteriously. No one knew why they were let go, but they certainly were. And so the tea is getting spilled, as you see right there. A field goal attempt. I think it was a doink, was it not? Let's see.
It was a long one.
It was a long one.
Looks like a 48-yarder, looks like. Wow. Great job by number 2, the kicker. And wait, he nodding his head. I wonder if...
Oh, great job missing it, I guess.
Yeah, he did a great job missing that. Wow. Yeah, he successfully missed that field goal. The score is 14, Chicago 7, and 2 seconds left on the first half.
Wouldn't it be funny if Green Bay, after the hell of the week that they had going against the Bengals with missed kicks, also has to deal with another litany of missed kicks going on? That's PTSD for them. They don't want to see that.
I mean, you have one job, kicker. You have one job, Crosby. One job.
Man.
Good grief.
He eventually got there after missing 3 times in a row. Not everybody can be Justin Tucker, but my goodness, to have the game on the line that many times. He's so lucky that the Bengals kicker also missed, because, man, that would have been embarrassing, okay?
My goodness. I mean the kicker's just missing field goals and Ooh.
You have during the Vikings that happened too, right? The Lions again for the second time this season lost to the last minute because of a missed field goal. It was Justin Tucker, 66-yarder earlier in the season, but then against the Vikings, who have also lost the game because of a missed kick, finally got a kick in last week and was able to defeat the Lions. The Lions just, God hates the Lions. I'm telling you, man.
So tell me something, Bordy. Who do you think is going to get fired first, the head coach or the general manager?
Man, it has to be the general manager because that head coach, he cries like people are fighting for him. And he likes biting people's kneecaps or something like that. That was the guy that said that. He seems like he's a passionate guy. So if they're going after anybody, man, you just got to go after the GM because I want a dude that likes to bite people's kneecaps on my team.
Bite somebody's kneecap. Oof, that sounds very painful. But first and 10, ball on the 33-yard line. Oh man, this is football this year. The NFL season so far has been brutal, from scandals to injuries to whatnot. It's just pure madness. All right, got a handoff and didn't get far. And that was Aaron Jones, who is supposed to be out of action due to injury. But, simulations, right?
Simulations.
Second and 8, ball at the 35-yard line. And, all right. Ooh, almost picked off.
Oh. So, as that's almost picked off, you talk about, the NFL being drama this year, right? Scandals going on, injuries. But then you also have a very wide open MVP race where a lot of players are really qualifying for MVP. If it were up to you, Spillidge, right now, who would you say is your MVP for this NFL season so far?
I'm torn between Josh Allen and Kyler Murray. I mean, people fell asleep on Josh Allen. Oh, big shout out to Go Knowles, Lamar Jackson MVP. Hey, I agree wholeheartedly. But the thing is, Lamar right now is flying solo and definitely need a few offensive players for him to be considered MVP. Now, don't get me wrong. He definitely had a chance 2 seasons ago for MVP, but he was robbed of that.
No, Lamar won 2019, right?
He did?
Yeah, he won 2019. Yeah, he did.
Oh, awesome. Well, he did. Well, never mind then. Yes. So Lamar Jackson was indeed MVP of 2019 season, but unfortunately, I don't see him actually becoming MVP this season. It will definitely be between Josh Allen and Kyler Murray because they've both been on fire as of late, Bordy.
And you know what? Voters like somebody new, and they like the stats, right? Lamar Jackson, as good as he is passing right now, which is something people said that he couldn't do, so that's great for him. But, he doesn't have those touchdowns that, players like Kyler Murray has, right? But then you also have some players, some older faces, Tom Brady doing some work, and then you also have, somebody like Dak Prescott, somebody who thought, may have a slow start to the beginning of this season, really lighting the world on fire. That Dallas team is looking really dangerous overall. And then who else but Justin Herbert, who also is in the conversation for MVP. There are a lot of chock full of players that I feel have the potential to be it. And really, it's just going to come down to a whole bunch of just small plays and really going against each other. Remember how, we were thinking that Matt Stafford would be up there in MVP conversation, but then, went against Kyler Murray, and Kyler beat the brakes off of them. I think that's what this Lamar Jackson versus Justin Herbert game could be, to see who really knocks each other off into the MVP conversation.
And you know something, Oh yeah, big shout out to TU, go Noles. And yes, I do agree. Boo to Tom Brady. I totally agree with you, sir.
Yeah.
And
I'm a Jets fan. I agree with that a lot.
Yes, I definitely agree with you. Now, you will definitely this Sunday, announcement time. This Sunday, yours truly, Spillidge, alongside Boredy McBored, will be commentating on some good Madden action and NBA 2K action. Tell them about it, Boredy.
Yes, so we will be going and doing a whole bunch of video tournaments and stuff like that. Organization asked us to do some commentary for that. We'll have more information for you on Sunday. Make sure that you're looking at both of our Twitter informations. You can find me BOREDY MC _underscore in between the Y and the M. You can find me on Twitter, and you can also find Spillidge on Twitter. Spillidge, I believe your handle is at Spillidge, right? SPILLIDGE, right?
Yes, that's SPILLIDGE TV on Twitter, and on Twitch and Instagram, that's SPILLIDGE.
Yeah, so we'll be having information about that. So stay tuned. Make sure that you're watching, because we're going to be doing some exciting commentary while some exciting games are going to be happening, like the games that we have mentioned all throughout this broadcast. So I'm really excited as we see the Packers approaching the end zone. A little bit of time left in this game. Very low scoring game, but still exciting nonetheless.
Absolutely, and that was a great completion by Lazard. 3rd and goal, ball on the 5-yard line, and Packers in the red zone. And to all of you all joining in, thank you all very much for joining in. Spillidge alongside Boredy McBoard. We're doing some good commentating on Madden NFL 22 and touchdown, Green Bay Packers. Number 18 is having a little bit of fun. Better keep it to himself. It might be a flag.
And who else but Randall Cobb? I think that nobody was more excited to be with his homie Aaron Rodgers than Randall Cobb. They've been apart for a couple years, Randall Cobb being on the Texans. Aaron Rodgers still on the Green Bay Packers for now. But, Aaron said this is his last dance, and who else to do it with than a guy that he's rocked with for a long time. Won a Super Bowl with, too.
And the kick is good. First off, Aaron Rodgers always says that this is my last season. This is my last rodeo.
He got it from his mentor, right?
Right. This is it. This is it. Every season he says that. Every season. If you love the sport, you just simply love the sport. I mean, there's no shame in that. So, you know what I'm saying? If you're gonna retire, just mean it. You know what I'm saying? But don't just say I'm going to retire every time you get eliminated from the playoffs. Here comes the kick.
Well, those Jeopardy opportunities don't come often, Spillage.
Right. Right, man. But you know what game I missed the most, honestly, Boredy?
What game? Which game?
NFL Blitz.
Oh, man. Don't get me started.
I missed that game so much.
NFL Blitz and NFL Street, but NFL Blitz more, honestly. It was so fun. Just like going at each other 100 miles per hour of the arcadey style, the ball, like catching off, doing a whole bunch of things. It's just great to see,
Absolutely. I mean, the late hits was so fun. You can just pass interfere all day long and do late hits and roughing the passer and everything. It was just a no holds bar arcade style football game, which I miss so much. I mean, they definitely need to bring back the arcade sports.
Yeah, NFL Blitz was like going back in a time machine to when Ronnie Lott and Deacon Jones were playing football, and they would just hit people and maul them and run them over. But it'd just be so fun to absolutely do. I really wish they'd bring it back. Unfortunately, EA, with their domination of the NFL license, there's only but so many ways you could have these teams. You can only really have Madden, and that's it, unless it's like an off-brand football game, which is unfortunate because you don't have that variety. But I definitely would love to see that back because it was just a blast to play.
You know, speaking of Bordy, on Steam there are a few not NFL, but there are a few football games that are inspired by Tecmo Bowl. And I wouldn't mind. I definitely wouldn't mind checking that out.
You know, I really do enjoy when small-time developers are actually still not intimidated by everything that was happening. Back in the day, there used to be Backbreaker, right? A game that really likes to simulate football, and, you know, they don't have the license, but they try their best to really, get that football feel. I love that because we need more franchises that are willing to do that so that, you know, we could potentially let them get the license, share the pie instead of, you know, having that good old monopoly. As you see right there, a tackle over there. 96 having monopoly over Justin Fields in the pocket. That's Kingsley Keke with that tackle.
Yeah, and as you can see here on the replay, Justin Fields is one with the football field, and what a brutal hit by Kingsley Keke forced a 6-yard loss. And 2nd and 13, ball on the 33-yard line. And you know, Bordy, people are starting to get that little Madden fatigue. So what they do is they create a type of game that is lawyer friendly and and fun.
And you know what? I think that we've seen what the NFL's definition of fun isn't actually what fun actually is in real life. We like variety. Who cares what the lawyers say? The lawyers and the market research teams and everybody, they don't know what they're talking about. What we really like to see is a whole bunch of rough, gritty. Maybe not what they were doing in Ronnie Lott and Deacons Jones time, because that's legally assault, and I worry about those players that went through that. But, maybe not so that if you blow on Tom Brady's shin that you get, penalized forever in life. And then also, too, just celebrating, hey, I finally tackled Lamar Jackson or Kyler Murray short shifty, but that I can't, have fun doing that,
And right. And speaking of hard hitting, what are your thoughts on Sean Taylor's jersey being retired?
Man, that's great, man. When older players that you're seeing right there, finally, get to where they're supposed to be and actually being retired, that's great to see, especially Sean Taylor. Grew up watching him and his, hard-hitting, running, flying all over the field. For them to finally, be retired and to have their respect. It's always nice to see players, sometimes don't have good grace with teams, you see Calvin Johnson with the Detroit Lions. But when you have a player that actually is respected, treated well by the organization and given their fair share, it's nice to see that happen, and for them to be respected and to loved by the fans, because those fans really appreciate all of that time that player did while they were there.
Right. I feel like that was a great way to pay final respects to the late great Sean Taylor. Definitely a Hall of Famer and one of the hardest hitting football player in NFL history, in my honest opinion. I guarantee you that man put the fear of God in all QBs, especially dual threat QBs.
Oof.
Make them think twice about scrambling.
Come on now, when he could run that fast and hit somebody that hard, are you really gonna try him? I'm not. I'm gonna get down like Tom Brady does in the pocket. All right, just give up. All right, I'm done.
Yeah, that tuck and roll rule would have definitely come in handy for if he was still around.
Oh gosh, man. I'd love to see him even go further back, right? Deacon Jones there. Imagine how many things would happen back there, okay?
Oh, yeah. Hard hitting. Pain guaranteed.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes, definitely. First and 10, ball on the 10-yard line. And you talk about a brutal football. I feel like the most brutal football game I ever played was it was called Blitz the League from Midway.
Mm-hmm.
And that was their last NFL Blitz game. It wasn't even NFL. I mean, they took the NFL right off of Blitz the League because you could do a lot of messed up stuff on that game. Like they showed the X-ray hits, bones cracking and tendons tearing, and they even used steroids in the game. Like you had a choice to either sit out for the injury or you could just take the needle. And I was like, damn, they actually do that?
I respect that so much to just blatantly put that in a game, because that there are some players who are actually doing that. And of course, it wasn't as prevalent as football, but you do know in baseball they were doing that stuff all the time to just finally remove the mask and say maybe Peyton Manning he was also getting some of that blitz juice. I think that's hilarious to see.
Yeah, I mean it was no holds barred. It was all out. You could cuss out a fan.
That's great.
You could cut the coach cussing you out every time there's an incompletion. And
great.
And I'm talking about it was straight up no holds barred. You better believe the NFL would have stick their lawyers on Midway if they put a NFL flagship or logo on that game. So of course, they had to make that as lawyer friendly as possible by excluding the NFL for Blitz the League. But it was a brutal game. But it was a fun game to play. The gameplay was smooth. Especially they added extra controls for the QB. It more like a slow, like a slow motion. It was like bullet time, but it really wasn't.
Oh, okay.
You remember Max Payne, right? That game.
Yeah, I do remember Max Payne.
Yeah, the bullet time. But imagine bullet time as a QB, and that gives you extra control and momentum to dodge tackles inside the QB pocket.
Yeah. I tell you what, it's like I know some players like Russell Wilson already have their own inner bullet sign. So to be able to tap into that, that's really fun and exciting to see. As you see right there, ooh man, a great tackle for a loss right there by the Bears defensive line. Khalil Mack doing his thing.
All right, and the score is Green Bay Packers 21, Chicago Bears 7.
Shout out Chris Farley.
Bears.
Bulls Polish sausage.
Oh man, I tell you.
So we've hit a little bit about a couple of the talking points and talking lines. I think what's interesting though too, we haven't talked about the Steelers. Big Ben not doing so hot, not looking so hot. You think that Big Ben should hang up the tires?
Well, time is running out for Big Ben. Father Time is telling him every season, hey man, your knees ain't got much left.
No.
Your shoulders ain't got much left. Your ankles, forget about it. So, might want to consider going fishing. Or go cross country.
Go country.
Drive around the RV, something.
I think it's really, man, because he's been really winning with a dilapidated body like his whole entire back half of his career. So it makes sense why he feels inside of him that he could still pull this off, but he can't. Drew Brees learned the hard way. Phillip Rivers, I think, learned before everyone else and just, gave up while he was ahead, which is smart. And some players like to leave while they're at top. Some players just know, it's time. And I think that Big Ben didn't know that it was time last year, and he should have. So this year, you need to know it's time. They won against the Broncos by the hair of their chin, as we see. Ooh, look at that, number 91, Preston Smith getting a tackle right there, sacking the quarterback. I think it's time for you to know. And he has been resistant, and I think that he should resist his resistancy and just retire right now.
Ben Roethlisberger, you just got to know when to hold him. Know when to fold them.
Come on.
Know when to walk away. Know when to run. Yeah, time to ride on to the sunset while you still can.
Yes.
Don't be like Brett Favre. I saw that public execution. I think we all saw it.
Oh my gosh. Brett Favre on the Vikings getting beat up. This is elder abuse. Save him from himself.
I can picture Sean Payton be like, you know what? Finish him. You know what? Finish him. I'm talking late hits every play. Late hits. Every time, like the play be dead 10 seconds ago, wham! Just
it's sad news.
That was brutal.
Sad news, sad business. I don't know why Big Ben is there, because he's gonna end up being, at least Brett Favre. He was pretty good until he was a little, but. That's not Big Ben. Big Ben, his arm isn't doing. They're not doing long plays. You have a really good wide receivers. Juju Smith-Schuster unfortunately got hurt, but you still have really good wide receivers. Mm-hmm. Just give it to the next person. Mason Rudolph. He's not great. Dwayne Haskins. Yeah. Josh Dobbs. We probably haven't seen enough of him, but I think you give to any one of those guys and you might have a little bit more than what's happening with Big Ben right now, because it's sad.
That's all right. Let him keep playing. He won't be satisfied until somebody fold him up like a quesadilla.
Yo.
3rd and 2. Ball on the 9. And the last play of the game. And interception. Good Lord. Don't tell me a pick six from beginning and end. Oh, man. Touchdown, Green Bay Packers, to add insult to injury. Good Lord.
I can tell you what, I'm very confident Justin Fields doesn't want to see this result on Sunday.
I have never seen that before. A pick six on the first play and a pick six in the last play of the game? Wow.
Nathan Peterman special.
Ooh. That had to hurt. That will kill any QB's spirit. I don't care who you are.
Let alone a rookie, right? You're already on this miserable team. Matt Nagy doesn't seem like he's a very confident coach, or at least play caller, and then you get that. Your running back's decimated. Let's hope for Justin Fields' sake that does not happen.
In the last place you want to piss off are fans from Chicago. Now the final score: Green Bay Packers 27, Chicago 7.
Man.
And woof.
Never Chicago, never Philly, never New York. Okay, those three for sure.
Chicago is called Chirac for a reason, folks.
Come on.
For a reason. Oh my God, man. Oh man. Let's just hope Justin Fields have a better game later on this Sunday on Fox at 1:00 Eastern Standard Time. According to Madden, this is the result. We will see about that. Folks, it is late. And I thank you all very much for staying up with us. I know you all had to work in the morning, and we really appreciate the love and support. But don't you worry about a thing. Spillidge and Boredy McBored. We'll be back Sunday at noon Eastern Standard Time. So get some rest, ladies and gentlemen. Spillidge and Boredy McBored will do the same. Until next time, have a great night.